Okay, let's get started. So the last lecture, we talked about how to install Python packages in 4 different ways. Now you should be comfortable, like go online, find any software package you like, install it, and just pay attention. Different operating systems sometimes have different restrictions. Not all packages work across platform. You might find a package only work on Windows, or you might find a package only work on Linux. Especially something like related to hardware, GPU, it might be quite complicated. But for most of the commonly used one, usually is across platform. And so we have so far installed 3 software packages, right? Which was the first one we installed? The software, not the packages. VS Code and Git, mini Conda, right? The last lecture we covered basically how to use Conda to create an environment and how to install. So this lecture, we want to talk about how to use Visual Studio Code and also how to use Git and GitHub. So I have asked you to create your GitHub account. Have you done that? So if not, do it right now. I give you 1 minute to sign up for an account. And log into your account if you have no login, because we're going to use it later. So, and I'm going to show you step by step how to connect your local Visual Studio Code to GitHub so that you can pull repository from GitHub. You can also push change. Okay, and the first thing you need to do is to set up your Git properly, because in order to push things to GitHub, the software Visual Studio Code needs to know where it's going to push to. So it's going to find your email and also your email, the name and also the email address. So go to the course website and then go to resources, software, okay? And if you scroll down to the Git section here, Git configuration. So this one is one time only. So you do need to specify the username and also your email address, okay? Let me maybe other. And so what I want you to do is to open Git and start typing, set up a configuration, username and also. And so for Windows, you can use the terminal. For Mac computer, you can just do the same thing using the terminal. So also, you can go this way. If the Git doesn't work on your Windows terminal, you can open all apps and then come here, Git. There's one here called Git Bash. Okay, Git Bash basically is a command line program. So this one it should work. If you're using Mac, you probably won't be able to see this one. Okay, and this is pretty small here, but bear with me. So all you need to do, you can come here, you can copy this one if you don't want to see typo. So copy the first portion here, git config, then -- global user.name or something. So I'm going to copy this portion and then you're going to add your name to it. Okay, come here, paste. You can right click paste. Okay. Oops. Remove something at the beginning, some weird characters. Like look, you see clearly, just git and then config whatever and go to the end. Paste. Let me see if I can increase the font size of this one. Option X. Okay, let me change the font size so it's a little bit larger. This one is okay. Better. Okay, git config, and then if there's anything weird at the beginning, remove it. Anything weird at the end, remove it. And then double quotes. You need to have a space, double quotes, and then your name. So this is basically when you push to GitHub, your name is going to show up on GitHub. So make sure you use your real name. Okay, so I'm going to type my real name here. Okay, space. Have double quotes Otherwise, it might not be recognized. Okay. And you can have it different, but usually recommend the same as your name on GitHub. Yes. No account name, your name, not your user ID. Okay. Later when you log in, but right now this is the name, so usually it's your real name. Okay, not your GitHub user ID, your real name. So let me show you here, like what I'm talking about. So later, for example, here, I'm gonna push things to GitHub, and if you see the changes in here, doesn't show up in here. But anyway, because later we can log in, but you still need to enter your name. Okay, just hit enter. It's register your name, and then the next step is to register your email address. Okay, so similarly, I'm going to copy this portion. The user name. So this is the email that you use for your GitHub account. Okay, I'm gonna similarly do the paste. Okay, and then paste, double quotes. This is the email you use for your GitHub. Okay, use whatever you use to sign up your GitHub. For example, for me, this is my Gmail. Okay, and then again hit enter. Then you should be done. And you can check it. You can check whether it's setting up correctly or not. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this one. Okay, and then you can paste it. Hit enter. It should show you your username and email in here. Okay, make sense? This really nice. Okay, and it's one time only. But if you log into a new computer, if you change your computer, you will need to do that one more time. Okay, otherwise you won't be able to push things to GitHub. Okay, so this is done. And any issues? Any questions? Raise your hand. If not, next, let's open Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is probably the only terminal you need to use. And from now on, everything will be integrated in the Visual Studio Code. We can just use Visual Studio Code to do everything. Yes? I think there's like typo here. Need to like config and then space. You don't have a space. Yeah, so it's better just copy and paste. It's better because now you have typo. You're going to just right click. So you're here. So here, so if you copy this one and then right click here, paste, hit enter, you should see this one. If you type that, make sure you have a space here. Git config. It looks like there's no space, but there's a space in there. Otherwise, you might have issues. Any issues? Do you see this one? If I type this one, you should see your user.name and user.gmail, user.email. If not, then you're not set up correctly. Okay. Are we done? Next, open Visual Studio Code. Okay. You can go to all apps, and if you scroll down all the way to Visual Studio Code and then open it, I would recommend just pin that to your taskbar so that you can use it all the time. Now I need to go to the apps. Okay. And if I'm using this for the first time, I would recommend here, upper left corner, there's this people icon here. This allows you to log into your account so that you can synchronize all the settings. And you can use your GitHub account. So here I already signed up. I forgot what is showing up in here. But you have not logged in, you should click this one. There should be an option there ask you to log in. And then it asks you like GitHub account. Do you see that? No? Let me see here. Yeah, backup and sync settings. Okay. Click the backup and sync settings. And then once you click, at the top, it should pop up like sign up using login using GitHub account or Microsoft account. Select the GitHub account, and then it should pop out a tab in your browser. Then log into your GitHub account, and then it should be synchronized. You working? Yes, yes, and then just click yes, authorize. So make sure you do this one. So this is usually an option that I would recommend, because if you are changing the computer or basically synchronize things to your account, and any extension we're going to install later, you'll be synchronized. So it's always there. If you change the new computer, you log in, you'll be just downloading all the extensions so that you don't have to set up things all the time. Are we done on this with this step? Yes. So next, let's start installing some extensions. So Visual Studio Code is a pretty, without the extension, it's just a simple text editor. And with those extensions, it's a lot more powerful. We're going to use some of the extensions that throughout the semester. If you go back to the course website, I list some of those in here. You, where is it? You scroll up a little bit. Visual Studio Code here, under the software, under the same section, the same page is the gig. So if you scroll up, you should see this in here. We already installed. And these are some of the so-called extensions. They are very useful to make your life so much easier. So I'm going to install some of these extensions one by one. And some of those are definitely required. Otherwise, you won't be able to do coding. And some are like optional that will improve your productivity. I recommend you just follow this and start installing. So let me go back to the Visual Studio Code here. On the left side, right now, you will see I have so many icons in here. If you're new, probably only have 3 or 4. Yes? And there should be one, something like this. This kind of like a square popping up here. This one, you click. This is where we install the extensions. Okay? And since we are using Python, so you just click on the search box here. Just type Python, Python, and then hit enter. You should see the list. And if you click the first one, Python, you should see the 3 like green buttons in here. And there should be one install. Just install it, and you're good to go. So what we are trying to do here is to install this extension so that we can execute Python code in Visual Studio Code. Done. Next one, Jupyter. Okay, you can follow the names in here like in order. Doesn't have to be strictly in order, but so that you don't miss any of those. So the second one is called Jupyter. Okay, so the Jupyter is used to write Jupyter notebook, and similarly, you're going to use a lot throughout the semester. So click this one, Jupyter. Again, just click install. And sometimes for some extensions, after you install, it might say restart something. Then you click the reload. Otherwise, just it should be kind of instant. Okay. So the second one is Jupyter, and then the third one is GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot, or you can just type GitHub. Okay. You're going to show you a list of all the apps developed by GitHub. So these are the official extensions created by GitHub. So GitHub is Microsoft. It was acquired by Microsoft a couple years ago. And this one is very useful. Whether you are beginners or you are advanced users, GitHub Copilot is going to help you a lot. And it's free for students. But you do need to sign up in order to gain access. And so let me show you the website here. There is on this course website, on the second link, how to enable GitHub Copilot for free to students. You click the link, follow instructions to gain access to GitHub Copilot. You can do that after class. I think you need to upload your ID to verify your student status. Then you can use it. If you need to pay, I think that one is $10 per month. So it's a pretty useful one. I use all the time. So trust me, it's going to make your life easier. And so in that way, you don't have to remember all the stuff, just a couple keywords, and then it auto-complete the whole paragraph, or even tens of hundreds of lines of code. We're going to guess what you want to do. So the more code you write, the more intelligent it becomes. It's kind of like ChatGPT, but it's basically tailored to doing coding. And definitely, I would recommend you do this, follow instructions, and then upload your ID. Then you should have access. Okay. You might need to re-log into your account or something like that. I will show you later. You will know the power, like why do we use this one. For now, you can just install it. And there are a couple more here. I would recommend the second one, GitHub pull request and issues, also install. This one is especially useful if you become like a contributor, like to many repositories. You have to submit pull requests all the time. Then it will be useful. So pull request means you are contributing. You are contributing to a project. You need to submit a so-called pull request, or sometimes called PR. Okay, and this is a common one if you work on GitHub a lot. Right now, you can install it if you want, and then some GitHub actions. Also, this one, GitHub Copilot chat. Okay, this one is kind of like a ChatGPT on the side. So it's also very useful so that you don't have to leave the Visual Studio Code. You can use it all the time. So again, you need to sign up, to sign up the GitHub Copilot, then you can use this one. And what this one is about here, GitHub Copilot Chat. On the left side, after you install, you will see I have this icon, chat. And at the bottom here, pretty much this, you can ask any questions. Again, you probably don't have access yet. You can do it later, but I can show you here, for example. I can just write any question, read a web file using GeoPandas. Okay. And see what it's doing. You don't need to leave your editor. Everything can be done in here. Of course, you can just use GitHub Copilot to do things. But sometimes if the GitHub Copilot doesn't give the things you want, then you can start writing here basically the conversation. So ask anything. How to, for example, how to create, how to maybe create an interactive map using IPyLeaflet. Okay. It might not be perfect, but it's all free, so you don't have to pay anything, right? It's going to show you step by step how to install the packages, and then how to import and then create a map, and how to display, right? Much simple and easy. Or even Gmap, Leafmap, you can ask like whatever you want. So very powerful. I recommend. I don't use it a whole lot. Most of the time, GitHub Copilot is fine. And if it's not sufficient, then you use this Copilot chat. Okay. And a couple of few more that you might go. Code spell tracker. This one is also useful. Basically fixing all the typos. You're going to have all kind of typos all the time. If you're writing code, if you have typo, sometimes doesn't matter. But you might have some description, some documentation that you have all kind of typos. It's not going to be good when you contributing to large project. You have all kind of typos. Just when you are sending a paper to your professor and then have all the typos, doesn't look okay. So if you have this one, it's going to automatically show you. So recommend install it. So again, come here. Call spell tracker. This is the first one. Install it. Okay. Next one, call snap. Call snap is also useful that you can take a snapshot of the code, and then you can send to other people, or can, for example, next time, sometimes you have some problems and you want to ask people to help debug the problems. The code snap content can be useful. You can paste the source code. Sometimes the format will be a little bit messy, but the code snap is useful. So let me show you like what it is. Okay, I'm going to just call snapper. First one, install it. And here, let me show you like what it is. Let me just open a file directory. I have some sample code so you can see what I'm talking about. And other extensions throughout the semester, I will show you how to use. For now, let me just create, for example, new file. You don't have to follow me right now. If you want to, it might as well. So create a new file. I can say test.py. And then on the right here, right, you can start writing Python code. And also GitHub Copilot, you see, start asking. Don't know what to do? Just like ChatGPT, you can ask things here. So earlier, I already have some codes in here, for example. Okay, wait. Or I can go to leaf map, copy some codes, show you. And how about this? Let me go to this using base map, for example. Copy maybe this one. The import leaf map and Control V. Okay, here's the code. And so if you after install the code snap, if you write the code and then you right click, and then at the bottom, do you see the code snap? Yes, and just click it. Looks like this. Okay? Pretty cool, right? You have the code and then you have 3 icons. Looks like a Mac OS theme. And then you just click this button. Okay, click this button. Then you can save this one somewhere. Okay, save to my desktop, and that's it. So basically, it takes the snapshot of the code, but it looks a little bit better rather than you paste the code into. Open it will look like this. Okay? Pretty decent. It has the syntax highlighting different color, and also make it looks like very professional. So this is something, if you haven't asked questions online, besides pasting the source code, sometimes on the email, if it is too messy, then you can like just copy this one. Great. So this is the code snap, and let me see. I start writing. Go to, usually it should be autocomplete, right? You see here, trying to read the file using the data. I don't even need to type. And then I just hit tab. And I can say map.add. Okay, that file. Some of the things might not be exactly right, but we'll talk about more later. For now, just show you the flavor, some of those tools. Let's finish installation of all the extensions. So what's the next one? Next one, Markdown shortcuts. I will also recommend. So Markdown shortcut is later when you create the packages, we're gonna write a lot of Markdowns. And Markdown is shortcut layer. You can preview the shortcuts. So also install this one, Markdown shortcuts, and a couple few more. Install them one by one. Let me come back to here, just show you quick. Side by side. Markdown cuts. So it's the first one here. I think this one is also fine, Markdown all-in-one, but I use this one, Markdown shortcut. Works pretty well. Next one is gig length. You might not use all the extensions all at once, but throughout the semester, you should be able to use all of them. For now, it's difficult to remember like what each one used for, overwhelming, but just install them and it's synced to your account, so you will always have access to those extensions. And the next one is prettier code formatter. So type, okay, prettier code formatter. Install it, and next one is just type doc strings. Auto doc strings. This one is useful when we create the package and then we're trying to write documentation. It can help you automate writing the documentation. I will show you more examples later. For now, just install it. And the last one is material icon theme. Basically, you have a nice looking icons for your files. Material icon theme. And after install, it should be sufficient. Okay, you're welcome to explore to install more extensions if you want to. And another thing I would recommend is that if you want to see, for example, what kind of extensions are popular that people are using. So you can come here, okay, pay attention. If you come to this interface here, on the right, there's a filter. Okay, if you click the filter, it's going to show you filter, most popular, recently published, recommended, blah blah, different category. So this is more like the App Store. You can see what's popular, what's trending. If you click the most popular, for example, right, to see what are the extensions that are most popular. So if you want to try things out, this might be something you, right? So for example, Python, Pylance, Jupyter, C++, all kind of packaging here. Some of those are we already installed, you see. And you can see which one, or you can depend on the what category you want, or recommended, or the feature, right? Which one being feature. Okay. If you have time, explore it. If not, all those extensions should be sufficient for this course. Questions? If not, next, let's see how we can actually create a repo, then put the things to locally, make some changes, and then push things back to GitHub. Okay. So I would recommend, let's do this like one step by step. So go to your GitHub account, log into your GitHub account. Okay. So I'm gonna go to my GitHub account profile here. Okay. And in the upper right corner here, there should be a plus icon. Okay. We click a plus icon. Click new repository. Okay. This is where you create a GitHub. So first, let me briefly talk about the differences between Git and GitHub. Okay. Git is a version control system or protocol that allows you to take a snapshot of your source code, and then basically your whole history is available. But you only have one copy. You can always go back. Kind of like Google Document. You are making changes, you always have just one file. But if you go to the history, you can see the entire history. You can revert it at any time you want. Very much similar, but this is for doing coding. GitHub allows you to put your source code on GitHub, and you can also see the history. Basically, more like the graphical user interface for Git, but it also allows collaboration. But keep in mind, Git doesn't have to be hosted on GitHub. You can host it just locally, and there's also an alternative called GitLab. GitLab is more like the open source version, but it's not as popular as GitHub. So if you type GitLab, you can find it. It's the same. It's the same thing. You can use which GitLab. GitLab. Okay. GitHub is the most popular one. GitLab is open source version. If you don't want to pay anything, you can also try out this one. But GitHub is the most popular one. Okay. So again, Git is independent of GitHub. You don't have to use GitHub. You can locally, you don't need the internet. You can write source code, write project locally, and then you can use Git to do version control. But if you choose to make it available to the public, GitHub is where you somewhere can host it. Make sense? So here, I want to show you how to create one. And the first one, template, probably for you guys, you don't have any template, so don't share anything. And here is by default, it should be your username, okay? Yes? But if you join any organization, you'll be able to select, for example, I need to create a project under a specific organization. Right now, if you don't have, you'll be just your name. So I'm going to select, for example, my user ID. And this is where you create a project, okay? So you need to give a name. So use the name. You need to have a descriptive name. Whatever you want, like testing, blah, 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 whatever, it doesn't matter. So, but it needs to be a unique name under your account. If you already have one, it won't work. So for me, for example, I can type GOG 510, okay, hyphen, then maybe SP24, for example. For one, you can use whatever name you like. Yeah, doesn't matter, okay. And then you can give a description, okay. Write whatever you want. I can say this is a demo repo for GOG 510, okay, in spring 2024, okay. It can be just a brief. Don't write a whole paragraph, just a brief one. And next, private, public or private. So in this case here, you want to use the public unless you're working with some secret stuff. Okay, you don't want people to see, then you can use private. Kind of like Google document, right? By default, it's under your account, it's private, but you can also share with other people. So because I want to show you how to use that, so I'm going to use the public. And there's an option here, add a README file. I would recommend just check this box. Okay, add a README file. That means you want to add a description about your project or whatever. Okay, and you can also add .git ignore. So for this one, because specifically for this course, we're going to use Python. So I would recommend that you check this, select here, and then you can type Python. Okay, and then select Python, because when you are writing a Python project, sometimes you're going to generate some temporary files that you don't want to push to GitHub. So you will ignore some of those files. So it's usually safe to add it. So just select Python from the list. Next, license. Okay, for open source project, you always want to make sure that you have a license. So a license means that how can people use your code. Okay, and there are different types of projects in here. And there are different scenarios. Right now, for beginners, you can just select the MIT license. Is MIT here? Where is it? Here. Okay, MIT license. MIT is the most permissible license. So what does this mean? It means it's free, it's open source. You can copy my source code. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to tell me. But if something goes wrong, if it breaks down your computer, if it burns down your house, don't come to me. I'm not reliable for anything. Okay, so this is the most permissible. That means it's free. And there are some like other licenses that, yeah, it's open source, it's free. You can use whatever you want for personal projects, research, education. But if you're using it for commercial, you need to let me know. You need to buy a license from me. Make sense? Because it's free, but doesn't mean that you can use to make a profit. So there are different licenses in here. You can Google online to see like which one is best suitable for you. But for like personal in here, MIT, most of my projects using MIT. Just like I said, free, do whatever you want. Anything goes wrong, I'm not reliable. Okay, and that's it. Then create repository. Done. Now you should have bare minimum GitHub repository. And this is what essentially all the projects eventually going to come up in here. So right now, let's quickly go through the interface in here. So this is the main interface. On the right here, you click the commit under the green button. It should say one commit. Commit means in Git, basically you are taking a snapshot of the source code, and you're going to give a description of what it is, and then so I always know what changes have you made, right? So we continue to click the initial commit. If I click on that, it's going to show you on the left side, right? I add 3 files. So see here, showing 3 change files with 183 editions, 0 deletions. So if we click anything green here, that means that's the file that we just added. So this one, the first one is the .git ignore. So anything here, the file that makes this pattern, it will not be uploaded to GitHub. So you will stay locally. Basically ignore those like garbage. Don't push all the garbage to GitHub. Okay, ignore the file. The second one is the license. Okay, so the license, this is pretty brief. It's just a simple plain text file, and also the README. Okay, just with 2 lines of code in here. That's it. There's not much going on, but you can also comment in here. You can come here. You can do anything. Okay, so any questions? If not, next let me show you how you can get this repository to your computer, so they can make changes and then can push back to GitHub. So what you can do here, if you come back to Visual Studio Code, okay? If you already opened something in here, that's fine. I'm going to close, so file, and then close folder, okay? Make sure it's like empty, and this is to be the interface that you see. Yes? And then on the left side here, it says start, clone Git repository, Okay, clone basically means a copy the source code to your account. It's different from downloading a zip file. The clone means you're cloning the file, and then you can make changes, you can push back to GitHub. So click this one, clone Git repository, and select clone from GitHub. Okay, and so from here, by default, if you already log into your account, it should show the list of projects under your account. Can you select? Okay. Close folder. Yeah. File, close folder, and then clone Git repository from GitHub. And usually you should see the latest repository that you make changes. Select the one that you just created. Yes? Can you? And then click it. It should pop up, ask you to save to a directory on your computer. Okay? And then select a location. I'm going to select go to my downloads directory. And then just select the repository destination. Click it. And low right corner, it asks you blah, 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 blah. After it's done, it's going to ask you, would you like to open the clone repository? Select yes, open. And you should select one on your local computer. Yes? And of course, you can go to your wherever you select. So for example, under my downloads directory, you can also be able to see the directory here, right? This one. This is the one that I created. You will see these are the 3 temporary files that I created. And this one is a GitHub repository. Okay, it's not a regular folder. And by default, the Git folder is hidden. Okay, so if you want to show it, let me show you here. You probably need to go to View. Okay, click View, and then Show. There should be one hidden items. Okay, so if you want, I'm not sure about Mac computer. It's probably like an old period or something like that. I forgot what it is. But hidden item, and now you should see this one. .git. Can you see it? And there are a bunch of files in here. So this is basically what a Git project, a Git repository. There will be a .git directory under your repo. By default on Windows, it's hidden. But this one contains all the history of your file. And later, when we commit the changes, it's going to write something into this one. So this one is basically, most of the time, you don't want to mess around with this one. Okay, you don't want to mess up. Otherwise, your repo might be broken. But this is the history. So basically, think about the Google document history. Everything is in here. So if you want to see it, you can. Next, let's come back to Visual Studio Code here. So now I can show you like how you make changes and then push to GitHub. So here, on the left side, by default, the directory will not show, right? And you should also be able to see the icon, right? .git ignore. This file, most of the time, you don't need to make changes. I'll show you later. And the license. And then this is the README file. So for example, right now, oh, there's a typo over there. Is there a typo? This is the demo repo for GOH. Right? Okay. Okay. You see, something is wrong. I need to fix it. So now I can do it like this. I can remove it. Okay. And then just Control S. You see, it's also doing automatic formatting. You see that? I fix the typo, or you can write anything. So for example, okay, I remove something and I can say, okay, this is a new line I just added. Period. And then Control S. You can write anything, make any changes. You can delete something, you can add things. And then on the left side here, look at this. You should see an icon with this kind of like a 3 icon. And then with an like 1 means like you make changes to one file. Okay. So if you click this one, it should take you to here. Can you see it? So this is the Git is like basically integrated into Visual Studio Code. So if you double click this file, or maybe just click it. Just click this file, and it should pop up another window and showing the before and after. Can you? So this means like, okay, this is the previous one. This is something that has changed. So you see the red one means deleted. Green one means added. So you can clearly see, right? I deleted H and I edit a new line. That's it. Okay, and you can do more things. So let me show you one more. Right, I can say you can also add some images, figures, whatever. So I can, let's say, okay, I want to add an animation. Right, I've done funny animation. So let me go to Google. I can say funny GIF. Okay, let's see what kind of things are funny. Okay, so I'm going to select maybe, how about this one? Okay, if you click in here and then open the original file. Okay, so okay, where is it? Oh, it's not opening. Oh, it's here. Okay, so I'm going to click this one. Right, so here there's the link here, copy GIF link. Right, so let's copy this one and then paste to the browser, see if it works. Okay, you're going to have something blah 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 .gif. Okay, that means it's a direct link. It's not a website. Okay, okay, cool. So this is a GIF animation. I can just take this one, copy, and then I can come back to the markdown. Okay, so this one, something.md, is a markdown file. We talk more later. For now, I'm just showing you how to add a image to the markdown. So what you can do is exclamation, and then square brackets, and then parentheses. Okay, and then Control V. Okay, exclamation, empty square brackets, and then parentheses. Put the link inside the parentheses. Okay, and then Control S. So what I'm doing here right now, I'm adding this. So this is like plain text. So markdown is plain text. If you cannot see it, let me like make it a little bit bigger here. You see better now? Exclamation, square brackets, and then parentheses, and then put the URL. So make sure that your image need to be something blah blah .gif, .png, .jpeg. So that means it's a direct link. Okay, and then I can preview this markdown. So on your keyboard, type Control V, Control K, and then Control V. Okay, Control K, Control V. It doesn't work. So sometimes the shortcut is not. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's work. Otherwise, there might be some conflict. Let me see if we can show here. There might be a shortcut conflict. If you press Control K and then Control V on your keyboard, can you show the preview? Anyone? If not, that's fine. Okay, we come back to this one. I'll fix it next time. So for now, let's again. If I click one more time, you will be able to see this one, right, on the left, on the right. It's a bit blurry because it's too big, so it's not showing two. Okay, two windows in here. That means right now we are okay with the changes. So let's see how we push this to GitHub. So on the left side here, you see the message. Okay, so the message is something you want to write a history, write a description about what changes you made. Okay, you can write anything you want in here, but usually it's a descriptive description about what you did to the source code. You can make changes to multiple files. So for example, I can add another one. Like maybe come here, right click, and then you can say create somewhere here, right click, new file, and you can write one maybe called test.py. Okay, just a simple Python script. Okay, and then from here, you can just type Python print hello. Okay, you see my typing? It's autocomplete. If you don't have GitHub Copilot, probably it's not autocomplete yet. Okay, so I'm just hit that Control S. And now if I come back to this one here, you will see I'm going to show you two files, right? This is right now adding a new line, and I added two files. Okay. Assume that you are okay with this. You're done. Now you want to push changes to GitHub. So what you need to do here is to write a message and then commit the changes and then push to GitHub. I can write, okay, say add div and Python file, for example. Any whatever description you like. This description is important because it's going to show up in here in the GitHub history. It's going to show up under the commit history. It will be this message, okay? Whatever you write is going to show up in here. Don't make it super long, otherwise it's too overwhelming. So a short one, and then you can either type hit the commit. So usually for me, I use the shortcut Control Enter. So if you just type Control Enter on your keyboard, you see. For you, if it's the first time, it might ask you whether you want to commit the changes or something. What happens when you Control Enter? Put your cursor within the box and then Control Enter. What do you see? No, give a copy. No, I mean, if you enter a message and then you just Control Enter. Does it show you anything? Yeah, and then no state changes to give. So let me anyway. So let me show you one more time in here. Let me undo last commit. Okay, so show you maybe a different way. Okay, so in here, by default, you'll be start changes like this, right? So what you can do here is to click this one. Saves all changes. There's a button here. Saves all changes. Click that. And then write a description. So state changes means we are taking a snapshot. We are okay with that. If so, that means in the staging area. If not in the staging area, it means it's temporary. You will discard it. It's basically not put into the history. Just like you are doing the testing, you don't want to save the history. But if you say stage changes, it's going to be ready to be commit. And then you write a description. And here you can say click the commit button. So I'm going to say commit, and it's gone right now. Is it gone? Okay. Is it gone now? Yes. And so all you do, if you're going to show the button sync changes, so just click the sync changes. If you're the first time, it might pop up a window asking you to log into your GitHub account. Yes. You just log in, and then you should be good to go. So you see, I'm just seeing the changes. Now I come back to my GitHub, and look at this one, right? Let me just refresh. See, add GIF Python file. Here, I can go to the home page. The GIF animation doesn't show up. Maybe the file is too big, probably because if it's more than 4 or 5 megabytes, sometimes it won't show up. So let me save this file, see how big. Oh, it's not a direct URL. Okay. Find another one. Okay, I can do it. I want to show you like how do you how about this one? Or this one? Let's be a direct URL. Photos. So, okay. I'm just to grab some photos so that I can. Okay, so maybe this one. How about this one? Okay, I'm gonna get a photo. I'm gonna copy the image of the dress. Okay, come here, paste. Oh, this is web EAP is not anymore. Um, we kind of up to time, but we'll talk about more next time. So you can basically add images, you can get hyperlinks, you can get all kind of stuff. But this is essentially how you create a repo and then push changes to GitHub. You can do as many things as you want. So here, for example, okay, I can come back to this one right now, and I can continue to make changes, right? So here, I click this one. Now say, okay, I don't need this anymore. I can click it. I can remove it. Control S. And similarly, you're still going to see this one, make changes. Now it's going to show you like it's being deleted. Okay, I can say delete ELE 2 lines. Okay, Control Enter. So usually I use a shortcut. I don't want to click my button. So if I use this click, Control Enter, it's going to commit, and then you can just say sync changes. Okay, and I can come back to here, refresh. Right, you see it's gone. So you can also 2 ways. You can also make changes on GitHub, and then you can pull changes to locally. So here right now, if you're on GitHub, let me quickly show you. Right, there's a button here, edit the file. So if I click edit file, I can add changes in here. And I can say okay, add a new line on GitHub. Okay, and then I say commit changes. Similarly, here you can write a description similar to what we do in Visual Studio Code, and I can say commit changes. So if you're really lazy or you are on a computer that don't have access to Visual Studio Code, you can see you can add the changes in here, and the history is also in here. And after that, I can just come to my Visual Studio Code, and at the lower left corner here, there should be an icon here. At the bottom, synchronize changes. Okay. So right now, let me show you here. Just open this file. The line is not there yet. So if you click this button, see? So basically, it's a bi-directional. You can make changes locally, push to GitHub. You can make changes to GitHub and then push locally. We're going to use a lot more throughout the semester. For now, just give you some simple step how to create a repo, make some changes, and then do some simple change git commit. Okay. So if you make any changes, for example, do any changes, and then Control S, make sure that you click this button if you see something on here, and then on the changes side, you can click this button. So click the plus button to save all changes, and then just write a description. And say remove a line, remove a line, okay, and then Control Enter. Usually Control Enter is basically states the changes and commit, and then synchronize. That's it. Yes, you have to have a message. It's required because it's going to show up in here on your history, right? Update the readme, blah blah, right? Remove a line, whatever. It's going to show up in here. It cannot be empty. You need at least one character be not empty, and then you click the history, you will see everything in here. What changes you have made, right? So just like a Google Docs history. Yes. I will look at it. Okay. That's all for today, and I will see you on Friday. So make sure you practice. You can create a new repo, make commit changes, so then make sure that you are familiar with the whole workflow using Visual Studio Code. Okay. I will see you on Friday. Okay.